Next, we have the intraoral surface scanning for taking models. So why do I want to go ahead and use an intraoral scanner, right, to go ahead and take models? Why don't I just go ahead and, say to Moya, get out the rubber bowl and let's mix up some alginate, right? How much does that cost me? I don't have to spend all this money on an intraoral scanner, and let's take a model. So here, number one, it's an effortless model making. Number two, I have immediate study models. Okay, I immediately see, right, what's going on inside that patient's mouth. Number three, I have very accurate study models. I have full color study models. So I can, in a very rapid period of time, and we're going to see that in just a minute or two, how quickly the data is captured. Not only that, patients come in, and sometimes, the treatment plan is very simple, and I'll kind of write it right there when I'm doing the initial consultation with the patient. Sometimes, I collect all the data, right? I make all my notes, and the chart can sit there for a week, right? Or 2 weeks. Or, I don't know if this happens in your office, but in my office, right, I do the consultation, and if I can't give the information right away or the treatment plan to the patient, the patient says, should I make an appointment now or call me when you're ready? So I say to them, no. Like, I react to that appointment. So I know that if there's an appointment, I have to get the treatment plan done. But sometimes, the chart could sit there for a week or 2 weeks. Now, I have to remember, right, everything there is to do for that patient for sometimes complex treatment, right? So I can go and I can look at all my notes and make the treatment plan, and then when the patient comes back for the consultation, think, well, maybe I need to look at the patient again. I didn't capture this or see that, because I'm not going to take study models with alginate on every new consultation. But in a minute or 2 minutes, I can capture study models so that when I sit down to write that treatment plan, and it can be a year later, I know exactly what that patient looks like, along with all the data that I've collected. I can immediately share that information with the patient. We talk about, when they long ago used to try and sell the intraoral cameras, right, that you took, pictures of to show somebody a fracture in the tooth or something like that. Well, this is like, the light years ahead generation of that. I can go ahead and identify things and show patients things that I can't show them with two-dimensional images. I can go ahead and send the information immediately to the laboratory, right, and they can give me feedback right away. I can go and I can send this information, right, to a referring doctor or a doctor that I'm going in and working with, and they can see those study models right away. We can have a discussion. No setup or cleanup, So how much time did I just save in the office because my staff didn't have to set up and clean up? I will tell you today, we have probably gotten rid of 95% or more of our conventional impressions. And if I say to Moya or any other staff, okay, let's take a conventional impression, an alginate or improgram or something like that, they start shaking. Because the last thing they want to do is kind of set all that up and clean all that up. So we virtually don't do that anymore. Right? No pouring of models. Well, maybe you don't pour the models in your office, but we all know that there's in terms of maintaining accuracy of those models, right? There's some segment of time, depending upon the material, that you want to go ahead and pour those models, so I can eliminate that. And then I'll put it in what I'll call the wow factor, and the best way I can explain that is this. Oh, maybe 3-4 months ago, I had a patient, a young mother, come into my office for a consultation, and she's sitting in the operatory, and she brought her daughter with her. This 10-year-old, very open-minded, free-to-speak, little girl. And all she wanted to do was, get out of there, this little girl, and she's kind of tugging on her mom, saying, let's go, when are we leaving, right? And I say to the little girl, listen, I'm going to show you something. It's going to be the coolest thing you saw today, right? And this little girl is looking at me like, there's nothing in here that's going to impress me, right? I said, no, just wait, right? And we take out the intraoral scanner, and I take the scan, right, because I needed the data. And this little 10-year-old girl is sitting there, and her eyes are kind of popping out of her head. And now she's talking to her mother and saying, Mom, you got to see this. This is the coolest thing I've ever seen. So that's the true test, right, of let's call it the wow, the wow factor, for treatment of your patients. And the scanner that I use, that I have in my office, this is here, and this is what we're going to show you today. It's a Trios 3 from 3Shape. It scans very rapidly. For me, if you ask me, they're the market leader in intraoral scanning. And surely, as things evolve and come around, and they have, I've had it 3 years already that I've used it. Okay, it's first going to be, in this machine. Also from LED. Okay, so let's go ahead. Can we switch the screen? Okay, so